boy.
You know, I'm not gonna walk around like that. And so I'm saying some of these ladies, not to body shame, but
I understand.
if you have a body that's a cut between
Pillsbury.
a rhino and a buffalo, you don't go exposing this kind of thing out
Oh
of the soul.
my
Come on,
gosh.
let's be for real.
They're not studying what they're built like. I honestly I don't have low self esteem, but the confidence that some of you guys and girls have, like skyscrapers, I don't have it in me. Maybe if
Mhm.
I had it in me, I would have been bold and fierce and don't give a damn
Well,
and be out there like that too.
they say you ought to feel comfortable in your skin,
I don't like
and
I
I
can't be
understand
out
that,
there
but I'm
like
just
that.
simply saying that I think people, hey, let's be for real. You have like a belly that looks like three bellies in one.
They're not. That's not
One
stopping.
dropping over the other. I don't think I don't hey, I think you should hey, take it easy.
They
Not for the public streets.
they right
You
now.
know.
I don't know where this switch came in. I'm trying to find what year people introduced this thongs
Yeah, yeah,
buttocks
yeah,
exposure into the
yeah.
carnival. Like everybody's just like, this is it now. And not only that, it's one thing to just do the walk, but it's the dance that's coming with it, the bend over
Mm-hmm,
that's coming with it. Like you doing a whole 360.
mm-hmm,
What do you call it? 360, I think.
mm-hmm,
And the whole wall this is going viral
mm-hmm,
national because you're on tape.
mm-hmm.
Everybody's seeing that, and you just go back to your job on Monday, like, yeah, so I been in carnival and I was half naked
I
and
something is radically wrong with that.
ain't
Let me
nothing.
say something to you. I am so given to privacy
Me
that
too.
when I stay by friends, even by family
Right.
in other jurisdictions, do you know that I don't use the toilet whilst people are up and around in the house? I gotta wait until everybody has gone to sleep.
Or if they
You
have like
know?
a bathroom that's like private
Right,
from the rest,
right,
you would be more comfortable
exactly.
to be in that one
Yeah, I look for
whilst
all of these
there.
little things. But that's just me. Hey,
I've always been self-conscious, so
you know.
I could never do carnival. Nope. Because
Mhm.
for me, it's like I got blemish here, I got mark there, I got this. I'm like, who's
Yeah,
going down there for everybody to be like, you see that big black mark she had on her butt?
yeah.
Like, I can't do it.
You notice I don't. I see guys, and nothing wrong with that. Guys hop into the vehicles, they driving around with short pants and so on. I know my legs, them attractive. Them little, sticks I have. I can't walk around the place showing this kind of thing to people.
But this
Although
is
I played soccer in my younger days, and
those younger days.
but
You
now,
wasn't thinking about it.
man,
But let me tell you,
them camel legs that I have now, man, I keep them hidden, man.
this today's generation is very proud. They're
Lord have
very proud
mercy.
of they're very proud of themselves.
Hmm.
They're not they're not gonna let a little pudge and like love handles hanging over stop
Uh-huh.
them and the perfect butt. They ain't even care. They ain't have it and they
Wow.
just out there
Wow.
with it. For me, I gotta have the perfect. I gotta have perfect
Hmm.
to expose myself. And I still wouldn't do it because of the class of person I am. I just feel like I don't need to do that. Like that's I like a little bit of attention, but when the attention gets too heavy, I need to leave the scenario. It's
All right.
the comments.
Let me just say that usually when I get started with the programs, I acknowledge the existence of the Creator Most High. I may sound irrelevant, but I don't know to what extent people consider the Creator today, given human progress and development, discoveries, scientific discoveries, etc. We're making so much progress. We're so good and strong as a race, if I may put it that way, that I don't know if the creator is relevant. But as far as I am concerned personally, the creator is very relevant. And people sometimes ask me, well, do you have, I meet so many guys who ask me, what proof do you have that God, the creator, exists? And I often go back to the Bible. I tell them, well, Psalm 19 says that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. When you look at these things out there, I mean, where did they come from? So intelligently put together, there must be some designer, some architect who took time to think about this and put it together. Just as we human beings, everything that we have around us, all these gadgets we have in the studio, somebody thought about it. Somebody
That's it.
deliberately put things together and invented that. The cell phone didn't just stay
Amazing.
and come about on its own. And so I remember reading one time where somebody said that if you took a watch or a clock and you broke it down to its constituent parts and you took all the parts and put them in a bag and you shook it together, you could keep shaking until a point of infinity, and the parts will never just simply automatically fit together as a whole. Somebody has to take the time to deliberately put every part in the right place to get the mechanism working. And so the same thing holds true for this universe and all that's contained in the universe, just the human body. Any physical body that has life, when you think in terms of the operation of it, man, come on, you have to conclude that there is a creator. And so I'm just wondering, sometimes when we become so full of ourselves because of the accomplishments
Hmm.
that we tend to think that the creator is irrelevant. Um, I don't know if as we get into, before we get into the scenario for tonight, I want us to play that tune relative to Carnival so that those who are following us, whether on Facebook or radio, can get some pointers. And of course, I want you to read the little segment that you have.
Mhm.
Um, but before we go there, and for those of you who would like to share with us on radio, 773-0390 and 773-0490, the numbers you can call to share with us. But you want us to go ahead and do that tune right now?
I guess, yeah. Right?
All right.
Yeah.
Since okay, just can you play that for us so that it's kind of getting people to understand? Yeah.
WSTX.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, you know, you trying to get on the air?
Hi, yes, I all right. Have a center. Yeah, just one quick second. Folks, we want you to enjoy Carnival. We want you to let your hair down and have a good time, but we want you to do it the right way. We want you to be safe. We want you to make sure you take necessary precautions so that you don't end up in trouble. And we send that message out particularly to the young people. We talk about young people's brains not being fully developed until 25, so we want you to just simply, hey, follow some good advice. Mandy will share that later, but let's hear what the scholar has to share with us. Yes, scholar, let's hear you. Good evening, welcome to the program. Hello?
Hi, good night. Actually, I'm calling to discuss ongoing situation. Is that okay?
Go ahead, yes, that's fine.
Okay, am I speaking with, this is John Buffett?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is John Baptiste Bapo and M Love, two of us here holding up the fort.
Okay. Okay, well, thanks for having me. I'm actually calling because of an ongoing situation that was happening from since last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm living where they're constructing doing the rebuild for the junior high school at the Richard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Out in the Paradise area.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've been suffering from ever since the construction, and they've been doing this construction. I live in the corner where, I'm actually their neighbor, I'm just like 6 away. Actually, it's just a lot of dirt been coming in, and I want to know, and even the truck stem has been passing numerous times, and they don't wet the road. Even after I have complained many times,
Mm-hmm.
they put a post up. They had we had to add up an investigation, and they promised to continue wetting the road and all of that, but they failed in doing that. That only went on for like a couple of weeks, and it was back to doing the same thing. The trucks then passing, and it's just a habit of even up to recent, and it's been making us sick. And we've had enough. I've had enough, and I've been voicing my complaint on separation. I've been speaking to people as senators. I've spoken to a couple of people well, and the situation remained the same, and it's unfair because I understand the school must fail, but the question is why we must stay suffering. Why are the roads still being dry? Why the trucks and heavy equipment are passing, and they're passing and the roads are not being wet? And it's a game. It's a game, because they know what they're doing. Officials themselves have said, House of Representatives said it. The guys that are not watching the road. The thing is, we're getting sick. I have little children. We have allergies, and the water is contaminated. All that debris and material they've been working with, all of that is in my house, my system. My house has been dust out. When we can't see each other because so much dust. I've been sick. I've been so much back and forth to the emergency room, to the doctor because of that. And the only thing that's changing is our living conditions and our health. They have not done anything. One thing for sisters, yes, they put up a big mesh, but that big mesh, sir, has went up after the damage has been done. I'm grateful and I'm thankful because what it's doing is eliminating some of the dust, but it's not stopping the dust. And even up to recent, they've been passing dust in me out. And just, standing in my house, I just smell the fresh dust because they're doing a lot of digging more. So on top of the dust that is already contaminated in my home, here comes the fresh dust. And mind you, I'm baffled down. Windows out is not open. And this stuff is still coming in. The children, then they're getting sick. It isn't too much to bear. Enough is enough. And we've had enough of the dust out. You're making us sick. I have a lot of, the first encounter that I had, it was in my house. That's when I noticed I was afraid, what's going on, take notice of what's going on around me, with the construction. And that was a metallic something, that went up, metallic dust. It smelled like went straight up my nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt. It hurt my head so much. Tears came from my dry eyes. trying to figure out what the heck did I just breathe in, walking into my room. At that time, my window stayed open because for the years I've been living there, 13 years at the time of the construction, 15 years, I always had my windows open. We always, had dust, but it was things that never been a bad, a minor dust and everything, but it's nothing like now. It's like the house that became a construction site. We've been going through so many things, breathing bad dust, that's not right. Getting sick, and these things are going in deaf ears. And mind you, I've made many emails and complaints, and I've been promised that I'll be temporarily moved, and only to hear that they're not going to do anything. And VPNO, Miss Barnes, yes, we're going to do the temporary movement, but it's not here for us to do that. Because you're giving me the opportunity to go ahead and look for houses and price like that they want it because it's urgent. We demand fresh air. We suffer because of the construction. That's not our fault.
Well,
Getting sick.
well, let me just say that I am, in a sense, encouraged that you have called into this program to voice your concerns. I'm certain that many people on the island aren't aware of that, and I can promise you this evening that I will get in touch with some persons in an attempt to bring that to their attention to see what should be done. I think that there is first of all, public health should never be sacrificed or compromised simply because we're undertaking projects that that benefits the public. Even with the Office of Disaster Recovery, the extended program they have right now, I forget the Envision program. They're actually asking for people who own homes who can lease or rent to individuals while their homes are being fixed by recovery people, that they can stay in those homes. So that no, your health, your family's health should not be compromised. And I do know some people that I'm going to give a call to, perhaps even before Monday morning, to see how they can look into the situation so that we can find some assistance, some help for you people in the area out there. That is totally unacceptable.
That is totally unacceptable, and I appreciate that. And enough is enough. We cannot maintain. This is messing with me. I'm only going by every day to see how I'm affected. And totally forgetting where I'm going and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's a life changing thing because it's too long. I'm having to be breathing in this stuff. It's in my house, it's in my home, and it's in the system. It's in my water. You know what I'm saying? We get oral sore, getting sick because we still have to use the water. It's just too much.
And
also have an infestation because of this fraud infestation.
wow.
I want to know, are they supposed to have bars where they're working, to keep the area more secure?
Mm-hmm. Let me just
they don't have any of that.
Let me just say to you that, and I don't want us to take that kind of action. As a last resort, we can have a class action suit. But I would prefer us not to go that route. Let's see how we can remediate the situation without going there. Our people have been exposed to a lot of crazy stuff. I remember the situation with the red dust coming from Martin Marietta. I remember other situations with Hovensa. I try to, refrain from going that route. We hope we don't have to go there. I'm going to talk to some people, see what can be done. But if they won't listen, then we may have to push for a class action suit against.
Something needs to be done. Our life is on the line.
Okay.
And I already used that point.
Mm-hmm.
He was mentally ill, and he just got up one morning and he hung himself in the back of the yard. This is very serious, okay? And we had enough of breathing in fresh air just up to Wednesday. The churn was on the porch because they're home now.
Mm-hmm.
And as the truck passed, it's a dusty time. Yes, I get it, but it's a residential area.
Mm-hmm.
You should be within the road. And after all of complain and know what we're going through, how dare you? So I demand that the children, none of the truck is coming. The truck is coming. I went down to the school and I complained, they called the police. I walked back home because I have the children. Here comes the truck coming down. I stood in the middle of that road and I demand you're not going to pass my house and bust us out one more time unless you wet this road. And here comes them wetting the road. I have it all on video. We had enough. It's enough.
Right. Let me. If you have a pen and paper, take down my number so that you can give me a call, just to make sure that I stay on top of things. You ready? Yeah, that's totally unacceptable. And I don't want to be pointing fingers at any particular individual, but if we have a situation that impacts our people, we need to come together to resolve it. And that's it. You know. Are you ready? Yeah. No, we need to stand together to resolve our problems. You ready? Okay, it is 340 208 0055. So just give me a call anytime between this evening and Monday morning, God willing, to make sure that I do not forget you. I won't forget, but I still want you to give me a call. No problem. Appreciate it. All right. You take care and be blessed. Yeah. All right. Bye. Thank you. Yeah. All right. And it's unfortunate that these situations do come up, and there is a lapse in judgment on the part of persons who should know better. So hopefully, yeah, go ahead.
That dust is bad for people who suffer with respiratory issues like asthma. Like that could trigger asthma attacks.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something. I mean, even in places that we call third world countries, when they've been working on the highways, they've been wetting the roads continuously to make sure that the dust doesn't drift into people's homes and impact their health.
Yeah, you can't, you know what it is to clean out your house and then you come home and it's dust. You walk in and you see the residual of the dust like powder on your feet, man.
Right. All right, folks. Anyway, we were talking about the carnival celebrations, how we could be safe and secure in terms of going out there and enjoying ourselves, and some of the tips that Love is going to share with you this evening. It can be carried over to other scenarios or circumstances when young people have left the territory to go to the mainland to study, etc. These things can be used. So, can you get into that, and then we'll come back to our scenarios of conflict and miscalculation and poor judgment, etc.
It's very hard to reach the young folks because they're so preoccupied with so many other stuff going on in life. Like Carnival right now, they over there in St. Thomas enjoying themselves. For those on St. Croix, I have no idea what they may be into, but we would hope we catch at least one young person who is somewhat like me and likes to be inside. So anyways, Carnival is all about music, vibes, and freedom, but your safety always comes first. So here are some important tips that I hope at least one young person could listen to and share with their fellow youngsters. We must stay together, roll with friends, never go alone. Use a buddy system and check on each other regularly. Picking a meeting spot just in case anyone gets lost. You have to move smart. Avoid dark or isolated areas. I could tell you about dark areas. I had an experience in Puerto Rico, but it wasn't even carnival related. I was there for a wedding, and yeah, you always have to be very vigilant of your surroundings, no matter where you are and what's going on, especially at nighttime. Travel in groups to and from events. Let someone know where you're going if you must leave the group. Stay aware. Always be alert to your surroundings, like I just mentioned. Crowds can change very quickly. If something feels wrong, trust your instincts and leave immediately. Protect yourself. Never ever, I have to say, never ever 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 accept drinks from strangers. Keep your drink with you to avoid tampering. Avoid excessive alcohol or risky behavior. And if you do happen to have an open drink, like the red cups or the clear cups that you often get when you're out there at events such as Carnival, and you happen to rest it down somewhere and you don't remember if that's your cup or not, discard. Don't even drink that again. Take care of your body. Please, this one is highly important. especially when you are part of the carnival. Drink plenty, not poquito, plenty agua,
Mhm.
plenty water, because it's hot. We live in the Caribbean and the sun don't play with us. So make sure you stay hydrated
Yep.
in the heat.
Yep.
Black folks like to believe they shouldn't wear sunscreen because we're melanated. No, make sure you put on sunscreen, please. And make sure your clothes is comfortable. Because when you have tight stuff on and the heat blast take you, ambulance gonna be coming for you. Take breaks and please don't overdo it. If anybody is keeping up with iShow speed, he's supposed to be visiting us. I don't know where he's going between St. Croix and St. Thomas, but he overworked himself and he had to take a break. So please do not overwork yourself. Next tip, secure your belongings. Keep your phones, your money, and your IDs close to you at all times. Use small bags worn in front to prevent being robbed. Don't flash valuables like some of us the youngsters. We like to show that we got money in the pockets. Don't do that. You become a target and you will get robbed. Ride and crowd safety. Follow all the rules when you're going on a ride and the safety instructions. Don't be going on there with 6-inch heels. That's not for the carnival. So make sure you're in sandals and make sure they're properly buckled, and sneakers, and make sure they're tied properly as well. Watch for pushing or overcrowding. If you anything like me, you don't like crowds. So when you feel somebody is like too close to you, you know how when COVID came around, 6 feet. Once you see pushing and overcrowding going on, just take yourself out of that area, please, for your safety. Move to a safer place if needed. Just like I told you, take yourself away. And last but not least, yeah, emergency ready. Be prepared. Know where security personnel is and any medical tents that would have first aid supplies around. Save an emergency contact in your phone just in case you have to phone somebody to come and get you. Because when it's carnival, baby, people are drinking, they head gone, they know what they're doing sometimes, and you want to make sure that you're safe. So if anything seems off, aloof, get in that phone and call somebody, please. Let them know you're in trouble and you need some help. And to close it off, like we said, Carnival is all about having a good time with your good friends, making great memories, take lots and lots of pictures because you know what they say, YOLO, you only live once and life is too short. So make sure you keep safe and make memories and make sure you enjoy it all, most of all. And that's our safety tips coming from Choices.
I just want to add to that one other thing. Although supposedly we have acquired what is called herd immunity, but COVID is still around.
Yes, it is very much so.
And so if you don't have a problem wearing a mask, if you're going into crowded public places, please wear a mask if you don't have a problem with it. And to the parents out there, we want to say that have a discussion with your children before they go out, whether it is to the village or enjoying any aspect of carnival. I saw a number of young children in the carnival village last night,
Freely.
and some of them looked like they were like elementary school age. They were in groups together. I was taken aback when I heard one of them speaking of her boyfriend, and I'm saying, but this looks like a little elementary school girl. What's she talking about her boyfriend for? But anyway, I'm saying parents, talk to the children before you let them leave home to go enjoy aspects of the carnival village. It's good to have them going, taking the rides. And one other thing I want to say, I the guy who owns the rights, that's my brother-in-law, and he was telling me how he has kept his prices down at a standard level. I think it's $5 for any ride, whichever ride it is, it's $5. I think that's what he told me, either $5 or $6. I think it's five. And he said that notwithstanding increased costs of shipping and what have you, because it costs a lot of money to move those rides around, yet he has kept the price steady, and people still complain.
That's
You know,
people for
but you're
you.
gonna find that people will complain.
They gonna complain no matter if you give them the best of the best in life. They gonna still find something to nitpick and say you this, you that, and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm. But hey, it is what it is. So we just want to make sure that people do enjoy the season of Carnival.
Because
And by the way, Carnival is not my
like,
cup of tea. Never been my cup of tea. Even all my years when I was in the legislature, I never stayed around to, like, I see all these guys are over there in St. Thomas and enjoying Carnival. That was never my cup
it's
of tea.
not mine either because number one, I don't like crowds. Number two, I don't care to be in the sun long term. I just stay inside before I get skin cancer. Sorry, but
Mhm.
yeah, it never fancy me much. Like with the crowd thing, and then you always like have to be checking your surroundings just in case. They've had incidents where stuff happened, and I want to say thank God that I was one of those who was inside. Like I had premonitions before the stuff even occurred, and I just decided, you know what, I ain't even going into the village.
So let me ask you something. Do you think that the reason why these ladies might choose to leave out all that clothing is because of the heat factor?
No, I
No?
just think it's an attention factor right now.
Oh, okay.
Like because like, why would you have a boyfriend at home and you still, or even a husband? Because I wonder if somebody may even married and they just be say, oh, what? I don't care. My husband don't rule me. I's a hot girl and I doing hot girls things and I gonna be out there how
Mhm.
I feel like being out there. Hot girl.
Mhm. But to me, if you're pretty, you're pretty. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful. You don't need to drop off the clothing.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know.
not instilled. It is not instilled in our people. They don't get it. It's like no. Maybe should we blame the designers for creating these sexy attire?
They know why they design clothing the way they do. It serves a purpose. But then here's the thing. To me, I've always felt that um, bikini outfits reveal so much that it takes away the excitement from discovery. You know what I'm saying to you?
I just want to say big up to the Arab community. They keep it modest and covered.
Maybe too much covering in that community.
Yeah, too much covering, but I always hear stories of what's behind all that covering when they get with the dancing.
You see, my thing is that now seriously, I love discovery. I'm not talking about Discovery Channel. I like to discover new things. I like the intrigue, the suspense
Right.
of going to the unknown.
What's
And
that?
so I think I like, make it a little difficult, man. Don't make things so easy that you kill the
When you
imagine
when you
you,
when
you
you
you kill the
when
imagination,
you
man.
but I
You know.
guess no, I guess for some guys because I have heard like not heard. I've read some of the I could actually say I've heard because men will be men at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And I've read some
By the
comments.
way, all men are not men.
Oh,
Go ahead.
right. What are they?
Hmm? You want to take me there?
Yeah, so I've read some comments of women who wear certain outfits and then the comments on the internet that men leave behind. And I'm so disgusted by what they say sometimes. And I'm like, why would you open your mouth to say this for a strange woman that you know nothing about?
Mhm.
So but she turns into a devil after you get with her.
To be honest with you, I think we have an overemphasis on human sexuality in
Yeah,
these times that
it's
we're living
it's
in.
highly overrated. It's
And
sickening.
so maybe we need to curb that a bit. But I wanted to get back to something. We speak about sexuality. We speak about poor decisions being made. We on this program we've said that young people in particular, but all persons should have a vision statement and a mission statement. You got to have a vision in terms of where you want to get to. You got to know what your mission is all about. And so we've encouraged people at the beginning, at the onset of this program, we would talk to young people, telling them about these things. And we want to continue to do that. So I'm going to come back sometime where we can re-emphasize, you know, the establishment of a vision statement, a mission statement. Now, here is a scenario, and it happened in one of the neighboring Caribbean islands. A 19-year-old, and he might have been 18 at the time when he met this young lady.
Hmm.
She was 12. She's now 13 and pregnant, and he's 19. And he's been charged
Yeah, we know that.
and brought to court. And his statement to the judge is that he's asking for leniency. He's asking for consideration of the judge. And both him and the young lady, some will say she's 13 and she has not reached the age of consent. But they're saying that they want to have a family, get married, have a family. And there are many who oppose that and feel that he needs to go to jail. He committed a crime. And I'd like to get your take, and if there is anybody who's following us, you can give us a call and
I mean,
share your take with us. And you can even on Facebook, you could share with us. But the numbers are 773. Go ahead, Mandy.
0390 and 7730490. And if you're away, put that 340 in front.
Right. So let me hear you.
Okay, so like in the Western Hemisphere, yeah, it's considered. I can't say the word on the air, but he messed with a minor. But he's still a teen, man. He just getting ready to leave out of his teens. But love is love. Aliyah said age ain't nothing but a number, and some parents have thrown some young men into jail because the young men messed with their daughters and whatnot. But at the end of the day, your daughter is gonna still go through life. She gonna meet many others after you throw that young man behind bars just for engaging into an intimate relationship. So does it change anything that you put this young man behind bars because your daughter was aggressive in moving on to exploring? We're all sexual beings here on this earth, and at some point you're gonna get into that and explore and do things. Some of us, we just move ahead of time and we do it early. And I would like to, for some people to analyze situations before they make drastic measures and like, yeah, he messing with me on that age daughter. No, jail for he know better than that. I mean, wasn't you a young person at some point in your life? You were so goody two shoes that you ain't never did something that was wrong in your life. What happened to talking to the two young folks? I mean, I wonder if some of the parents' fear is like, yeah, he got my daughter knocked up and perhaps he not even gonna stay with her. I wonder if that's a fear, and that's why.
And that's why we have counselors. That's why we have psychologists who can determine if there is a measure of sincerity on the part of the young man. The long and short of it is that nature was at work, because from the natural standpoint, this young lady had reached a stage where she could conceive. The hormones are obviously working on the part of both the young lady and the young man. And so, notwithstanding the laws that we have, and don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that our laws are meaningless. I'm simply saying, notwithstanding the laws that we have on the books, we should give some consideration to mitigating circumstances, if I may. You know, how did this young man get to meet this young lady? What was the circumstances whereby they came together? What circumstances allowed for them to have that level of interaction? And what's the background of the young man, education wise, economic wise, etc.? Can he find himself in a position where he can provide for a family? Do they understand through counseling? Can they get to the point to know that having a family doesn't mean that the young lady cannot continue to develop herself educationally? I've known of young women who became pregnant in high school and they went on to get degrees in medicine following that. So
It
that
became
a
some
pregnancy,
great things in
yeah, a pregnancy doesn't bring an end to your progress and development. And so I'm saying all of these things should be taken into consideration based on what social workers, um, counselors find out about the two. I would hope that the judge would consider all of that and, if necessary, allow the young people to have a family, have a life together, share life.
Well, my thing is, are the parents gonna make her get an abortion or what?
I don't think so. At this stage, there is no, an abortion is out of the question. Now, the
Okay.
thing about it is that it is not an American jurisdiction. And I know different states have different laws in terms of consent. You know, there may be some, not maybe, there are some states in the union that allows for consent at 16. And some states, even though you're 17, you're a day shy of 18, you cannot consent. Things have changed in other countries like the UK, United Kingdom. They've changed somewhat. In parts of Africa, I think even today, you have young women getting married at the age of 14, 15 years of age in certain parts of Africa. So I'm just saying that I think courts should be allowed some latitude where a judge can make a determination in terms of what should be done here. But I thought we should look at that a little and see how it could play out, you know, in terms of we as individuals, because let's face it, if if a person's daughter becomes pregnant right now under VI law, a 14-year-old girl getting pregnant, that case is going to be referred to the respective government agency, um, social services, Department of Human Services. They're going to step in. They're going to step in. They're going to want to know the particulars of who's responsible for that pregnancy. And whoever is responsible will have to bear the consequences of what the law has set out. Here in the Virgin Islands, that's what's going to happen. That young man is going to face the music. You have committed statutory rape, and so as a consequence, you're going to have to.
A lot of people are gonna hold and say he know better than that. What he going with a 12-year-old for? So
Yeah,
that's the thing. They're gonna say let he go in the orange, let he go behind the bars
and
because he know better than that.
they will not even want to hear that the 12-year-old actually has the body of a 17, 18-year-old. They won't even want to hear that.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do they teach sex education in school? That the kids, that the young men and them know that if they go with an underage girl, they will go to jail.
I don't know if sex education is being taught in the schools today.
But they need to teach that so the young guys are not going to get them.
Yeah, I don't know to what extent sex education is being taught in the schools. They used to teach it, but we need to make our children aware of the laws that we have on the books.
Yep.
Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome.
Yes, hi, good evening, Norma. This is Chaz Hollywood Nips. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How about you?
Pretty good. I was listening to you
Mm-hmm.
and your co-host,
Yeah.
and very interesting topics. I'm just so sad that the right ears are not listening to the radio. Some of them probably in St. Thomas, walking up and carrying on and whatever. But I'd like to add to one thing that was stated, having been experienced for 33 years in the police department here in St. Croix and working with young people
Mm-hmm.
and investigating cases. A lot of times, underage girls become pregnant and they're not going to tell you who the father is.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't tell you who the father is, nothing happens. Okay, they protect the man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that they call them and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these are grown men. Some of them are grown men in the community.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times the parents are to blame as well because they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they are being rewarded as well. The man is giving the family money and coming around and whatever. And anytime you see something like that happening, especially if you have a young girl, you must rush and say, look, what's all of this? What are you coming around giving the family monies and trying to entice my child? What's going on? You're a grown man,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And that does not happen. Okay, money, when it comes to money and sex, is very powerful. Okay, and that's the reason why a lot of times we lose a lot of our young girls. A lot of young girls' virginities are lost because of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they decide to be intimate with a guy, take a chance, and all of a sudden she becomes pregnant. Then as soon as she announced to him that she's pregnant, it's like, that's not my child. And he moves on to another one and another one, another one.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, what I'm saying is that if you are a young lady and under the sound of our voices here today, because this is choices, this program is choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if you made a choice of becoming intimate with a person, even though the consequence of becoming pregnant is real. However, if you fail to use contraceptive, that means you really don't care. Okay, not just becoming pregnant, but also acquiring STDs, sexually transmitted diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and again, how many parents actually sit their daughter or son down to, because guys, you have a responsibility to actually talk to them about sex
Mm-hmm.
and the consequences of what's happening. A lot of them don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Only when something happens, it's like, oh, I'm gonna call the police. This guy got you pregnant. At that time, the young lady is not willing to really negotiate anything. That's her man, and if you ask her who you've been called social services, human services, and the counselors or whomever, investigators like ourselves, go and ask who's the father. She's not going to tell you. See? So again, it's like a losing battle.
So let me ask you something. And to me, that's a part of investigation. When you speak about, because you made a distinction there where you said that a lot of times that it's grown men.
Sure.
And here is a distinction. There is a distinction between the grown men and the young teen, 18, 19. There's a distinction,
Yeah.
because to me, when you speak of grown men, we talk about sometimes even married men
Sure.
messing with young girls. And so if a young woman, 15, is pregnant and there are suspicions that there is a grown man in the community responsible, shouldn't investigators have the right, through the line of investigation, that if somebody becomes a suspect, that person can be brought in to submit, whether it's an item of whatever it is, to conduct DNA testing to find, or whatever it is, to establish paternity, and to hold that person responsible if that person is a grown man who has done that.
Yeah, but then if the young lady doesn't want him to get in trouble, how are you going to do that?
The child, when the child is born, you carry out a paternity testing because you have some item from the suspected grown man that you can do that.
Yeah, well, you see, what we do now, let's back up a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If suppose somebody walks up to you right now and say, Norman, you get my daughter pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because maybe they figure that you got money or you have a nice home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to dirty your name, okay,
Uh-huh.
in the community.
Uh-huh.
What will be your reaction to that?
If I have not had this young lady driving around in my car, being seen with me in places where she should not be with me, then I can simply stand up. Well, this is a false accusation. I don't have.
Okay, great. Okay, now
yeah.
false accusation. Now, do you think it's fair if it's a false accusation to have to force you to take tests because somebody feel that you're the father and the girl have not admitted that you're the father?
No, it is not fair. But if I have allowed myself to be in compromising situations with the young lady and people can identify me as having been seen in such places with the young lady, I am known to have been frequenting places with her where she should not have been with me, then that's a different scenario.
Okay, now we're talking about proof.
Uh-huh.
Now, with me now, I'm going to turn the question on myself.
Mm-hmm.
My reaction is going to be, where's your proof?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I have nothing. You have to prove it. I don't have to prove. I don't have to prove anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the burden of proof is not on me; it's on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when it comes to accusations, the court is not going to play with accusations. They want proof and evidence.
Okay.
Because let's say, for instance, you've been a teacher, okay, and a lot of teachers, and sometimes you have to be so careful, especially when you're in certain areas with children, especially girls. Okay, and even with myself, with our love kids and whatever, I've never positioned myself in a place where if I like to have a female present when I'm doing certain things or around young ladies, because some young ladies some of them are being sexually molested, and sometimes they use you as a reflective mirror. Okay, because of maybe they might like the way you talk to them or you operate, and you don't give respect to a man, but somehow deep down they want to hurt you because they are hurt too. Hurt people. Okay, so again, the burden of proof is not on me; it's on you. And I'm going to tell you, prove it. The burden of proof. I'm not giving anything. I don't have to give no blood, nothing, DNA. You prove it's me. You're done. Finish right there. And so that's what happens.
So let me ask you something, because some behaviors are inappropriate.
Sure.
Whether, as a matter of fact, I think there is a case it might be in St. Thomas, where a pastor has been accused of taking a young lady to the beach on one occasion and to the church or a building associated with the church.
Yes, I am familiar with the information. Yes.
Okay, and so now that pastor has been arrested and charged for sexual molestation, whatever it is. I don't remember all the particulars right now as we speak. But I'm saying thing for a school teacher who has a young woman coming to his home on a regular basis, maybe helping him grade exam papers, doing different. Hey, you've had her on a regular basis coming to your house. So when she becomes pregnant, I think you've put yourself in a compromising situation.
But you see, I understand what you're saying. But let's say you are not the person that got her pregnant. Okay, and you're being falsely accused. The name is in the newspaper, like for instance, that pastor. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Suppose it's proved that pastor is not the person. Where does he go back to get his integrity?
Wow, I hear you.
This is the reason why I emphasize it a lot. I've practiced it with working with a lot of young girls and whatever, and what the case is. I do not put myself in a position where I could be accused of anything. I always, if I'm not going to go in a room with a young girl alone, I'm not going to be in certain areas with even young boys. I like to have an adult there with me, person there with me, okay, that can be able to at least see and observe what's going on. So you have to be very careful out here.
But you see,
because it's very easy for your reputation to be spoiled. And once you said even if it's an accusation, once it gets out in the media, when the media loves it. I mean, if something like that happens, then you have to see the media. Oh my God, still have my name all over the front page and all this foolishness. But then what happens if it's not that person? Then where do I go back to get my integrity? Where do I go back to get my credibility for the community? That's why those things are serious. And what I don't like is, for instance, even though, let's say you and I went to school, okay, I graduated from high school for more than 50 years ago, 1976, graduated by the turn of a high school class. Let's say one of a female come now, I mean, and say, oh, you raped me in the gym. Okay, and that's all over the paper now. There's no proof. But then she's accusing me of that because maybe, for whatever reason, I don't know what it might be. Maybe she should have loved to marry me, or maybe she envies me and my wife, whatever. Okay, that information is put out in the media, whatever. Some people, when they receive information, they don't understand it's an accusation. Everybody's innocent. They say, the son, he raped the woman. Wait, do that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And now they're supposed to be prospective jurors and sit in the courts. A lot of them are not honest. So they go in there with a bias thinking that the person did rape the person without even looking at the evidence or non-evidence. That's it. That is the problem around this place. This is why I believe in some cases, jurors should be brought in, fly in, and fly out. Because it's very difficult when they go on the lie in front of the court and said, no, I never heard anything. And deep down, some of them are going to be family members. That's why sometimes hung juries happens. And you've got some jurors out there that are very guilty of and when they could have saved the lives of a criminal, they brought him out, hung jury, and today and tomorrow he's right in Kingsville Cemetery. He could have been saved if, in fact, they stop their nonsense and say, look, you're guilty, and let's get help for you. See, this is what's going on.
So let me, and you
have a responsibility.
You have law enforcement background. Let me ask you something. What about cases where we have circumstantial evidence and corroborating witness testimony? And I'm going to give you a case in point. We have a former senator who was convicted of sexual offenses in the state of Florida. And to a large extent, that was based upon corroborating witness testimony as opposed to physical evidence. It was basically circumstantial in terms of, the parties being at a particular location at a particular point in time, and then the corroborating testimony of at least 3 witnesses who testified of similar experiences with that former senator. There wasn't any DNA evidence, but he went down on the basis of that. So I'm saying, and these things are kind of difficult, but that's how the law plays out in a part of law.
Again, proof. Again, corroborating evidence with circumstantial evidence. You've got witnesses that are willing to testify, and unless his lawyer or her lawyer refute the testimony of witnesses, the jury is going to hear it and believe it. That's it. I mean, nowhere you hear his defense lawyer say no, or attack that witness credibility and the stand, because they can't. What they're hoping for is to protect their client and their client because of the position the client might be in as a police officer and whatever. That doesn't mean anything. You see, that's why they're trying to protect that and just leave it alone. But they're not actually attacking the witnesses' testimony, even though they have circumstantial evidence, like you said. But on circumstantial evidence, it's very difficult to convict on certain sides. As a matter of fact, a lot of the attorney generals and prosecutors, they're very, very careful we're trying to prosecute people with circumstantial evidence. Sometimes they'll tell you, Nibs, we don't have enough evidence. We have to dismiss the case without prejudice. Without prejudice meaning that they can also refile the case instead of going before the court with regular, and then all of a sudden now the defense lawyer says, "What proof do you have of my client other than circumstantial evidence?" What are you going to say? See, and people themselves, if you know that you have a problem, with sex, or you have a problem with molestation. But one time I went to a training in the States, and I was laughed at, and the instructor got very upset. He said, "No, you do not laugh at Officer Nibs. Do not ever laugh at him." Because I asked the question, sir, like for pedophiles, child molesters, is there help for them? And the whole class started laughing. And the instructor got very upset. And he said, "Officer Nibs, excuse me a moment." He said, "Listen, I don't want any one of you laughing. I have to leave this session right now." He said, "Officer Nibs, that's a very, 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 very important question. And I have to answer him to that." He said, "Unfortunately, Officer Nibs, there's no help for pedophiles." I was shocked. There's no help for pedophiles. Once you're a child molester, there's no help for pedophiles.
Wow.
Serious.
Wow.
Okay? And I mean, I was like, what? What do you mean? I mean, you can help alcoholics. You got Alcoholics Anonymous and different things. There's no help for pedophilia. This is why you have to educate your children. Okay? To beat pedophilia, you have to educate your children from nothing. Okay? Girls and boys taking candies, gifts. The people coming showing an unusual interest in your daughter or son. Okay? You have to be very careful when who you come into your homes and stuff, touching your children, having children still on laps. That's something that I told you I'm against. I played Santa Claus for many years with Human Services. Anytime you see a picture of Officer Nibs, you always see a child at the side of my leg, not sitting on my lap. I don't believe in that. See? So you have to educate children, your boys too, because you have homosexuals too.
Yeah.
You have to educate children. And once you educate them, okay, they will pick up. And they will come to you and tell you, "Look, Dad, this guy was like watching me kind of hard, and make it feel uncomfortable." Okay, one time I was living on a Peppertree Terrace, my wife and myself, and all neighbors, all of us was very close knit. And they said to me, "Officer Nibs, was a man that's been in a car watching me all the time." I said, "Oh yeah?" I said, "When did that happen?" And then they told me so. What I did is I asked permission to come home and leave about an hour earlier. Okay, and what I did, I parked the unit. I was assigned a marked police unit, but I parked the unit outside of the gate across to the hospital. And I walked up into the gate and into the unit, and I did surveillance. And I saw exactly what they were saying. And what I did is I went and I approached the individual. Okay, and we did an investigation. And we found out that individual was wanted in Puerto Rico for pedophilia. We used to be taking pictures of naked children and whatever, enticing children. I was living in there, and they didn't even know that. And that's what caused them. Because of that, I told management, you have to do police checks on people, tenants coming in here, and that's what caused it. Okay, yeah, that's what caused it. So again, and then I had another case in the neighborhood where we once lived, where this individual was working in school, and I used to notice certain things on the window. One thing again, I always try to observe, especially when it's coming on children, young people and stuff, and I noticed that some boys would be outside, and then one of the boys would eventually escape inside with this guy, and then it would like take it by turn type situation. And then there came a time where his car was apparently stolen, but he used to drive his car around in the yard. His car apparently was apparently stolen or whatever, and he was accusing this young man of doing whatever. And I went and I testified, and I said, "Listen," I said, "he cannot say that he doesn't know this boy because a lot of them are in his yard all the time and whatever and stuff." And the judge looked at me, okay, and she said to me, "Officer Nibs," she said, "I know where you're going, but I can't go there because we don't have the proof." Okay? And when I looked at her, she looked at me. She said, "You can come before this court and testify an export anytime when it comes to this, but I know where you want to go, but we can't go there." But the judge know what was happening. He lied. He totally lied. He knows he was better when he went to a young man. But I mean, the dude, he died eventually and whatever. And then let's remember the coach in St. Thomas. That was 15 years.
Yeah.
Left them boys. It wasn't for a mother now. What I don't like, we tell children, come and tell us what's going on. Okay? When they come and they tell you what's going on, then it's like, no man, not Charles, man. No, they won't do that, man. Don't lie on Charles. Don't lie. Oh, no, he's a minister. What's wrong with you? No, that's how a priest, see what you do, you see? And then what happens now? The victim becomes re-victimized. So they shut down. You mean, okay, you know what? Nobody ain't going to believe me, so I ain't nothing to say. I'm so much to suffer in silence. And that child could be being molested over and over and repeatedly. If it wasn't for a mother that went to the feds after she exhausted all measures of explaining to the school, faculties, staff, or whatever, she had to go to the feds for the feds to actually break that case.
You imagine that?
Was arrested, okay?
That's how it went? Wow.
Yes, and I have to applaud that mother. That's what I'm saying. I have to applaud that mother 1,000%. Because she did not give up. She did not give up. So people under the sound of our voices, this might be a very unpopular, Norman, I've done presentations and mothers have come to me and say, it's a names, man. So, those things are not going to happen in the Virgin Islands. That's going to happen in the States alone. And I've had women tell me that how they've had a police officer, XYZ, committed rape on them or whatever. They were so afraid and they were threatened and whatever, cases, things like that when they were little girls. And how right now they feel good that I'm educating their grandchildren as it relates to sexual abuse and whatever. And it's a shame. There's a lot of people in this community that you might think that they are this and that, okay, and because they feel that they're untouchable, they're actually sexually abusing children. Okay, and they don't like me at all. They try their best to get me out of the force. They tried everything. When I was there, I told them plain out, you can't move me. Okay, I'm a man of God. You don't touch me. You're not going to touch this. You can try all you want. You're not going to touch me because I'm educating the children. The parents love what I'm doing, whatever. And some of them, you can even look at them and they wouldn't look at you. They hate you for actually educating the children because they say they can't get to play with them and molest them anymore.
I found out recently through some discussions with some people involved in law enforcement that we actually have a lot of sex trafficking in the Virgin Islands. I couldn't believe it, So that a lot of crazy things are happening here. And it's good that we're having that discussion because all parties listening and viewing can learn from this because it's all about the choices that we make and people can choose to do or not to do certain things. And I want to share one thing. When you spoke about the instructor saying that there is no help for pedophiles, I want to say to all of us, and maybe people might find me naive, but there is one sin solution. And I've heard people testify to that. When you accept Jesus Christ as Messiah, and you turn over your sin condition to Him and ask Him to bring transformation to your life, you can be healed. You can be helped. So that if the pedophile who acknowledges his problem, his sin problem, or her sin problem, and turns to the Messiah, Jesus, and asks Jesus to come into the life and take control and submit, himself or herself onto the control, the will of Jesus Christ, the Messiah, they can be healed. They can be helped.
Yes, and one of the things too, I remember when I was in college, and I wasn't a loner. I like to socialize, but I was very choosy as to who I go out with, especially dudes and stuff, hanging out. I never liked this hanging out thing too much, especially as being black from the Virgin Islands, living in the States and whatever, being profiled as a black man. One time I was profiled by police and handcuffed, put in a police car, telling me I looked like some drug dealer and all this foolishness.
Wow.
By the time, because we went to West States to work, I was working at WKTC FM in Florida, and by the time they lose me, one of the white guys walked up to me, police, and says, "Okay, boy, you can go now." And I walked right up to him. I said, "Look, let me tell you something. You don't ever call me a boy. So where I'm from, everything is black. I came out of my mother's womb. Okay, I'm from a black community. Don't ever call me a boy. I'm no African American or West Indian. You guys turn all kind of colors. And I went to the police station to find out who this drug dealer. I look like the man don't look nothing like me.
Wow.
Okay, nothing. And also hanging out with guys. I have seen them where they try to get females drunk. Like sending drinks to them. I have went and said, listen, do not drink that drink, okay? Also, can I get a number to call someone for you? What's going on? I said, no, don't worry what's going on. I said, those guys trying to get you drunk and they're going to gang rape you. Okay, I have helped females in that regard as well.
And that's some of the tips that Emma shared this evening when she was appealing to the young people going to enjoy Carnival. Precautionary steps to take to safeguard yourself and your friends, and how to deal with the drinks.
Do you know how many of them are going to become pregnant?
Wow.
A lot. Okay, wow. This is a pregnant area. This is a pregnant festival here. Okay, a lot of them will become pregnant.
So maybe one of the things that we need to implement from here on is at Carnival time, maybe Department of Human Services should have some awareness of like, condoms and so on, and even giving out some of these things so that, the young ladies can take it and tell the guy, you put this on.
Let me tell you something. It starts in the home. That's what you said. It starts in the home. It starts in the home, period. Okay, that's where it is. A lot of children are getting children. Okay? And regardless of what condoms that they're giving out, there are condoms that still on their print. They're not going to use it.
Wow.
Period.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you have to have that. Just like how you have a daughter or a son and you groom them. Not that they're perfect, but when it comes to her body, like you said earlier, let me imagine what's there.
Yeah.
Don't show it. Okay? And one time I had a session with girls. One time we went to the complex and we were talking to the boys and they came and they disrupted. No, Officer Nibs, you and these guys, no. The girls want you out to talk to them. They didn't want the ladies to talk to them. So when I went over there, I said, what happened to the girls? He said, we want you out to talk to us. Why you want these women talking out in their forces? I started to talk to some of them. Okay, I felt a connection with them. A lot of them, some of them had tears in their eyes. I was hitting some nerves with them. And I asked them both questions, how many of you are virgins? Don't be ashamed. Don't look around. Just raise your hand. Raise your hand. Be honest. I said, okay. I said, how many of you are not virgins? And they raised their hands. Okay. I said, okay, you had sex. How many of you conceive by having sex? And some of them would, maybe one or two might raise their hands and whatever. Okay. I said, now, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel like you can change? Can you change? Someone said, yes. What you do is you don't have to do it again. You can feel good about yourself, knowing that now that you're educated, you have to do it again. And a lot of young girls right now, one of them are grown women. I bonded with them just by giving them that statement. And some of them are married. They call me sometimes. They say, oh God, so you're our father. Anytime our mother in the house and anything happening, the first thing he used to say, don't let me call officer this. I used to hate that. I used to have that. My mother and we like that, okay? Because you're scaring the children. So that's serious, but you see, that's what it's all about. If they can feel good about themselves, don't cast them aside. And you get pregnant, get out my house, kicking them here, no. It happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm just walking. I want to thank you for your contribution. We really appreciate it. I think it's good, and I hope that people have listened and they're taking notes, and any young persons listening in particular, that they're gonna, there's an old Creole saying, you gotta put some water in your wine. I hope they're gonna take steps to hey, take it easy. Let's think about the things we've heard, and let's put some water in the wine so we don't get drunk.
Sure, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be on the program. I just was listening. I just called you because it touched my heart. I said, no, I can't hold back this information, but I felt deep down someone out there needed to hear it. So I can thank you. And that's your daughter?
That's my daughter, yes.
Good night, Officer Nibs.
Man, listen, girl, I got you in a minute. I love you. I love you for lots of things, about a lot of things. And I don't spoil you. I love girls, period. I think I'm a girl dad, okay? My twin girls were died at birth.
Wow.
I have identical twin girls. And for my child, I always wanted identical twin girls. It happened,
Wow.
but we lost them and whatever. And that was it.
Mhm.
But let me tell you this, sometimes I have to think back and say, if my dad come to tell me something, I know I'd have to tie me up, okay? When it comes to my girl, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, you take care. You say, I hope to meet you face to face.
Definitely. Will
One day
do.
when I come to the station and meet Mom, I know your mom. I know you from a little girl too in the store.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you from a little girl in the store. And only maybe I like to meet you face to face and just keep on doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. I know Dad and Mom is very proud of you. Keep your head on. I know no guys gonna fool you. That's for sure.
No. For sure. I'm on top of it right now. Yes.
All right. Okay.
Again,
Thank you.
thanks for joining us this evening, man. Keep the faith.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure. You too, sir.
Okay, bye. All right, folks, we've come full circle. We didn't get into the main thing, but that's okay. This
But
was
that's
one
okay.
wonderful program that we had with Officer Neebs joining us this evening.
Definitely. We could always
Come on.
touch again because Carnival is gonna wrap up on tomorrow. Yeah. So
Definitely.
we'll touch.
Yeah, and these messages, they're always constant and relevant, so that's okay. But anyway, folks, we want to thank those who joined us, whether via Facebook or on the radio.
Yes.
We just want to thank you, and we hope that you have a pleasant weekend. Be well rested and ready to face the week that's coming on Monday.
Oh, and don't forget, come all out for I Show Speed. We gotta top who was the last place he visit? St. Martin?
He got sick.
Yes,
someplace. Yeah.
come heavy and ready.
All right then.
Take
Again,
care.
folks. Bye, and Chinese get well soon. Bye.
Definitely.
Good sound, Josh.